Hey friends, today we're going to be talking about eating some Pokemon. So, quick warning, this is probably going to get dark because I got some ideas to share with you. Now imagine you're a kid, you just turned 10, you're living in the Kanto region. So you get set off on your Pokemon journey by your seemingly absent-minded parent, and you are asked by an old man in a laboratory which one of four Pokemon you want to take with you as your partner. You got Squirtle, Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Pikachu. Which one are you choosing? We're not going based off of just if you think they look cool or if you think they have good battle utility. Because in case of an emergency, they might become your food. So I need to know which partner Pokemon, which starter from Kanto would make the best emergency food and what would it taste like? So to start off, you're probably kind of going along the same train of thought that I had originally, which is it's Bulbasaur, duh, right? I mean, it's basically a walking salad. That's a salad dog, is what that is. You pour a little vinaigrette on that, maybe some like cherry tomatoes or something, whatever the Pokemon equivalent is, and you got yourself a nice little walking salad. Plus, you could like, it's probably regrowable. You could regrow the bulb and keep gnawing on it like a rat. But then I also got to thinking, isn't Bulbasaur also poisonous? So in theory, eating Bulbasaur, any part of Bulbasaur, could potentially lead to some kind of poisoning. But before I go too far down that rabbit hole, let's look at the Pokedex entry. So we have here the Pokedex entry for Bulbasaur. It is a dual type grass and poison type, weighs approximately 15.2 pounds, and is about 2 feet tall. So that's a pretty hearty amount of food if we have to go down this route, right? But, okay, from Red and Blue, a strange seed was planted on its back at birth. The plant sprouts and grows with this Pokemon. So in terms of humanity, that'd probably be very inhumane because Bulbasaur would probably feel every single leaf that you like cut off of its back, right? Moving on. From Yellow, it says it can go for days without eating a single morsel because in the bulb on its back, it stores energy. Okay, so it'd be very nutritious, which is a point towards Bulbasaur. Not to mention ease of preparation, if indeed it wouldn't kill us. So, based on the Pokedex entries, I can't really find anything that denotes whether or not Bulbasaur is toxic to consume. So we're going to put Bulbasaur in the maybe category while we move on to our next starter. So Squirtle. Some juicy turtle soup is what that is. As somebody who loves turtles, that statement makes me sad. I made myself sad. I hope you're happy. So, according to the Pokedex entries, every Pokedex entry, the shell, just like normal turtles, is also part of Squirtle. So we're running into the same humaneness issue that we did with Bulbasaur, because Squirtle will probably feel that if we didn't, kill it before preparing it. But there's no way Squirtle would be poisonous to consume. So that's already some big pluses there. Now, in terms of quantity of food, I'm not sure who would win out there because, according to the Pokedex entry, Squirtle is about a foot tall and weighs about 20 pounds. How much of that is shell and how much of that is just some of that juicy, watery meat is not really specified. I have to assume because the developers never thought that somebody would try and eat Squirtle. Having said that, it would probably be a real pain in the ass to prepare. I've never prepared turtle soup, and I probably never will because I love turtles. It seems like a massive pain in the ass. Okay. So what about Charmander then? Charmander's basically like, it'll cook itself, right? Okay, so no, because the fire on its tail goes out when it dies. It might be a little trickier, but I feel like Charmander is probably one of the easiest in terms of preparation, because you could just have Charmander light a fire for you before you like hit it over the head with a rock or something to start preparing it. So you'd have the fire to cook it right there. That's convenience. People pay a lot of money for that kind of convenience, although we are paying a significant emotional toll to do this. So, okay, but in terms of food quantity, Charmander is about 2 feet tall and weighs approximately 19 pounds on average. So that's a pretty hearty amount of food, and not a lot of that is going to be shell, unlike with Squirtle. So Charmander might just be the best option because all that fire and heat probably has like some juices locked in naturally to like the muscle fibers and fats. So he's probably like very well like marbled and juicy. Moving on, the main course of the day that's on the thumbnail, some rat. I know Pikachu is an electric mouse, don't at me. Coming in at about a foot tall at 13.2 pounds. That's probably the lowest amount of food out of any of them. Not to mention, we have to take a few other things into account. One, this is the only starter with fur. So you'd have to flay Pikachu to get all that fur off, right? You'd have to like take the skin and like, okay, I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, but the biggest possible issue that we might run into is you got the electric pouches in the cheeks. And my theory there is that it's kind of like pufferfish, right? Where if the person taking out the, in this case, electric sac, doesn't know what they're doing, it contaminates all the rest of the meat. Although, in this case, since it would be electricity, I imagine you would just die immediately because your heart would just get shocked with so much energy that it just stops. I think. I am not a cardiologist. Do not take any health advice from me. So in terms of meat, though, probably tastes like a rat. What does a rat taste like? What does a rat taste like? So apparently rats taste similar to squirrels or rabbits, and they have a sweet, gamey flavor. I don't really like that. I feel like it's either going to be Bulbasaur or it's going to be a Charmander. In terms of preparation, it's probably either Bulbasaur or Charmander. In terms of sheer volume of food, I'm going to go with Bulbasaur because that sprout on its back, even though it would be incredibly painful for Bulbasaur, if you just trim it, that's going to grow back. So that's a renewable food source, only at the cost of your partner's mental and emotional well-being. It's kind of a bargain. Now, the problem with Bulbasaur, though, is in the preparation possibly required, because we don't know if Bulbasaur is going to kill us if we ingest its leafy flesh. We might just get poisoned and die, which is the opposite of the outcome that we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to stay alive. Charmander has incredible convenience, on the other hand, because you can just have it light a fire before you hit it on the head with a really big frying pan or something, which makes for pretty easy preparation. Yeah, Pikachu, that's already kind of out because of taste, but also because you got them sacks, you got them face sacks filled with electricity, and that's probably gonna kill you if you don't prepare it right. So that's a non-starter for me. Haha, starter, get it? Nobody should ever watch me. And Squirtle, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'd feel too bad about eating Squirtle. Turtles are cute as hell, man. They're really cool. And Squirtle's a water turtle. He's a turtle that squirts. So based on everything that we have covered in this little discussion, I am gonna say that if you are thinking ahead and you're a 10-year-old in Kanto right now, you're gonna want to choose Charmander, not just because it is a very rare fire type in the Kanto region, but also because in the event of an emergency, you're going to have some pretty tasty food if you can bring yourself to incapacitate, prepare, and cook your partner. Maybe just pack a lot of berries, or have your mom pack you a lunch. I'm gonna go and think about some of my life choices. As always, a massive thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Link to the Patreon is in the description, along with my Discord and my Blue Sky if you like my weird little art that I do. Just recently, I posted this quick doodle of handsome Squidward about to be murdered by a realistic shrimp with human arms. So if you're interested in seeing that, you can head on down there. And until next time, I love you all.